level legal agreements as, providing sort of increased regulation, particularly when a lot of countries are actually starting to try and deregulate industry. Some of them have no desire to participate or contribute in any new treaties or conventions, whether it's sort of multilateral treaties or conventions or within the EU as well. And I guess one of the things, and I'm sure it might be a little bit of discussion. Marcus may know a bit more about this later on. Is a lot of countries have actually sort of trying to guard this sort of forest competency because they're actually quite unsure of what the European Parliament is up to or wants to do, particularly with its newfound powers post-Lisbon Treaty, and given their response to the Green Paper. So they're actually quite worried about particularly the Parliament and wanting to keep forestry for themselves. And this sort of pertains to the EU. A lot of the countries that trade with the EU are a little bit concerned, particularly about the EU having competence over forestry, because a lot of what comes out of Brussels has to go into their legislation in order to maintain their basically sort of free trading rights with the bloc. So they kind of want a bit of control over what's happening and sort of not to kind of put them in competition, see the LBA as kind of a better route where they have a bit more input and control. And the third sort of compelling interest that we've come up with is what, to sort of quote simply, what we've called the rules of the game. So how the sort of the processes are actually undertaken. There's basically, it's not just sort of the forest interests and the forest itself that play a role. There's a lot of quite distinct, let's say, cultural and national interests that play a role. For example, one that came up a couple of times from different people was having sort of the need or the desire to have the Forest Europe process negotiated under UN rules because of language. They could basically operate in their own language rather than sort of artificial